Empress here. Let me just say that I hope you're fabulous. You look amazing. You know, I myself am doing my evening 7-mile walk, and I've already washed my face for the night, and it's like, oh gosh, I can't believe that the divine is like, girl, we've got to make this video. So it's like, oh, I hear that. Cue the Empress. Empress, it is time. And it's like, no, not now. I'm trying to get my exercise in, and I don't look video ready, but we're going on. The show must go on. So today's topic is near and dear to my heart because it's happened to me my whole entire life, something as well too, but the topic is stealing, okay? Now, stealing is stealing is stealing is stealing, okay? Never, in my opinion, is it justified, right? Even to steal something back, although that's another topic and I digress. But stealing is not cute, okay? Now, what inspired me, or I guess maybe made the divine kick me into action, was there's a Goodwill pod, if you will, that is at the end of this shopping center that I walk every night. And they haven't been open. They're not even supposed to be accepting donations, right? It's got closed signs over it. It's been closed due to the shutdown here on Oahu, but people still drop stuff off anyway. And so they have drivers that come a couple of times a day to pick up the stuff because they know it happens anyway. But there's at least a dozen people there right now going through, trashing, like opening all the bags of clothes, seeing if there's anything that's their size. They don't put anything back, and then they're stealing it, okay? Now, I think people need to start getting a grip on karma. So maybe this will be a stealing video, maybe this will be just a reminder of what happens when you steal, the karma associated with that. The divine does not say, oh, there's somebody who, you know, is only stealing from Goodwill, they're only stealing a donation. It's not like they're stealing it from a store, although they really are. And they're stealing it from people who need it the most, which is almost a triple trifecta on the naughty scale, because to steal from somebody is lame enough, but to steal from somebody who really needs it is disgusting, okay? So I guess again, this is somewhat of a karmic reminder that when you steal, there is no excuse for it, and karma will get you. And she's a bitch, okay? You've heard that saying, and karma's a bitch. It's true. And she's exceedingly accurate, right? And so dependent upon the degree of what I call naughtiness really is dependent on the degree of karma that comes back to you. So, you know, I also want to say that never is it a good, like some people will say in their mind, well, I'm stealing from my kid was an adult, so I'm really not doing that big a deal. Or I'm stealing from my ex, and my ex, you know, was a jerk and got the money illegally anyway, and so somehow that makes it right, okay? It's never okay, right? They'll have to deal with their own karma for doing what they do to get their money, and if that's illegal, then, you know, karma will rectify that. But at no point is it ever okay to steal. So when somebody says, well, I'm just taking it from the Goodwill, it's like, you're stealing it. It's not yours. You were not given permission to take it, and therefore that is stealing. So, you know, a gal that I know, we were having a conversation one day, and if you followed me for any length of time, you know I have that uncanny love and adoration for the law. Girl's had many lifetimes as a very, very successful lawyer. And she says to me, you know, she knows I know somebody who works the donations over there. So she was like, sorry, I have a text coming in. So she was like, you know, do you know if you can get any more power tools? Or, you know, me and she says another person that I know, were driving by the other night, and there were power tools there. And I go, you know, they don't really accept power tools. And she goes, I know. And she goes, and I felt kind of bad because I kind of felt like we were stealing. And I'm like, you were. I mean, point blank period, you were. And that gut feeling that she had was correct. Okay, so, you know, another thing that happens when you steal, if you notice, there is a part of you that's very uncomfortable that you're doing it. Right? You may hear, gosh, this isn't right. You may hear, oh, I hope I don't get caught. You may think, gosh, you know, if this person knew, they'd be really upset. All of those things are your internal guidance system letting you know you're way off track and that there will be repercussions for this action, right? Because your own soul is like going bleep, 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 bleep. This isn't cute, this isn't cute, this isn't cute. So, you know, I do have to say that, you know, sometimes, like when I had this conversation with this person that I know, and I agreed with her that she was in fact stealing, she's like, you know, now I feel bad about it. And so now I want to bring the stuff back. And then she says, do you think that will clear me of any wrongdoing? And I said, well, why don't you answer that question, right? If you were to give, in this case, the stuff, right, the tools back, does that really absolve your conscience from what you've done? And she goes, no. And I'm like, see, there's kind of your answer right now. Now, there will be karma associated with returning it, okay? Right? It's not that karma will go unnoticed. She will say, now this person did return it, right? And with interest. But, you know, there's still the same karma for having stole it because you stole it, okay? So now you can, you know, begin to build some positive karma on the, addition side of the ledger, but it does not absolve you in any way, shape, or form, nor does it rectify the fact that you stole to begin with. So I'd love to show you all the group right now, but, you know, girl's just not going to do that. Maybe when I turn back around, you're going to end up seeing them anyway. But it's sad. It's sad because it's not right. And, you know, I just thought that that should be a message that somebody out there needs to hear, right? Because that's when the divine always sends me in. She's like, girl, you got to give this message, right? Somebody needs to hear this. And you're the one to deliver it. So I was like, okay, if I have to. So I had to. It's just the only reason I'm here giving this message is that somebody needs to hear that stealing is not copacetic. And it's not going to bode well for you. Short term, long term, this lifetime, and for many, many, many lifetimes to come, right? Not only that, but it's almost guaranteed to begin happening to you. Because, you know, karma, like I told you, she's naughty. She gets in there and she just poo, 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 right? It's like you don't even know what hit you. Like she don't even leave a trail. You're like, what just happened? And it's like, oh, karma visited. So, I don't know, something to consider. Obviously, there's somebody out there who isn't or hasn't been doing the right things when trying to acquire things. And again, the other thing I want to say is there's somebody out there going, yeah, but what if it was only bubble gum when I was 5? And it's like, let's face it, you know you've had some crappy things happen to you in life, so I'm pretty sure the karmic debt's been paid for that. So, you know, it doesn't, you know, it's kind of like what you've always heard, right? There's no such thing as a size of a quote-unquote sin, right? A sin is a sin is a sin, okay? Which is why, you know, I've said before, if you're somebody who takes lives, doesn't matter if it's your career, doesn't matter if that's what you're paid to do, the fact that you're doing that is still karma for you, right? You've heard me say to you know, in videos about my past relationships, you know, some of the lawyers that decide to help, we'll use the word help, these, you know, criminals, right? It's why actually I did not become a lawyer in this lifetime, because the law is not always fair, okay? And so it's like, to know that my job would be to defend somebody who is guilty, and me being as good as I am at law, getting them off would just kill me, right? It's like my soul knows it would not be forgiven for that, whether it's my job or not. So hence why I just don't put myself in that position, right? Because it's like I couldn't deal with myself. No, I couldn't sleep. And so these are the things we have to consider when picking professions as well too, right? It's one of the reasons why I left corporate America so many years ago, right? Selling my soul to do corporate deals was not in it for me. So these are the things we have to consider. There's no such thing as, oh, because it's my job and I get paid for it, I'm somehow exempt from the karma associated with it. Absolutely not. And quite honestly, the fact that you chose that, right, and continue to do it is, you know, problematic as well too, because it's not where, you know, again, the thing that I always tell people when they ask me is you've got to ask yourself how you feel. It's not honestly even what I tell you. It's not what anybody else tells you. It's not what somebody you hire, you know, as a professional tells you necessarily, but it's how does it make you feel, right? You know how you feel when you do these things. And if they don't feel good, that's your indicator, okay? Because your body will always tell you what you're doing. And if it's something that's going to give you a happy ending, no pun intended, or a not so happy ending, right? Because how it begins is how it ends, my friends. So if you're trepidatious and you're not feeling good about yourself while you're doing it, you know, don't sit here and try to convince yourself that somehow the result of having done it will make you feel magically delicious, because it's not going to happen. So I guess there's just somebody out there who needs to hear this message. And so if it was you, I hope it helped. And we'll see you all on the next video. I love you. Bye.